I just shoot my 44 in the ground when it goes plop. Plop, that's the wetland edge. One thing that I always do when I drive to a site is I totally tap in on where the water is. Where is it? Where's it moving? How's it getting to where I am? So, what's the major water features that has to go here? What's this one?
Yeah, what did we walk over on the bridge?
The East Gallatin.
Good job.
So we've got a creek over there, a creek over there. There's also a pretty sharp change in vegetation. We see some younger saplings moving out from those trees, irregardless of that fence line, right? So what does that suggest?
Previous farming.
Yeah, probably grazing or haying or something like that, right?
Yeah. All right, 80 minutes left.
Oh, that's good.
I need one spade and one sharpshooters.
So before I go running off and start digging holes like some kind of crazy soils professor. Okay. First off, rivers caught on fire. And then Rachel Carson said all the birds are dying. There's a lot of pressure in the government to come up with some more regulations to stop rivers from burning. Then the Clean Water Act shows up in '74, 13 years later. First wetland delineation manual shows up in the '87 manual. So now there's supplements all around the United States that are supplement to that '87 manual. The supplement for this region has descriptors of what indicators you need to see for hydric soil.
The important thing about Story Mill Wetland is that we can dig holes here to learn a lot more about wetland soils specifically. And of course, soils are shy. So you gotta dig these holes, you gotta go interrogate a hole. But what do you learn from a single hole? The real beauty of this place, we can dig multiple holes. So we can dig one under the aspen, sort of a relatively drier soil, and then we can dig one under the cattails, a relatively wetter soil. I need some diggers this way.
So again, 1.5 feet.
Yep, by 1.5 feet.
By 1.5 feet. Try to get into the mineral. But it's really important is the texture that I pulled out of the bottom.
Sand.
It's a pure sand. You close your eyes, you can stick it in your teeth. your mouth does not lie. And then what is this texturally?
Clay.
Silty? Clay?
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else? This is actually called muck. And you're like, what? Muck is a real texture? Yeah, and it doesn't fit on the texture triangle. This is 100% organic matter. There's nothing mineral about this. If I were to burn this, it would be white. If I were to burn this, orange. Because the little bit of iron in this sand will oxidize to the color of Dr. Kleindl's vest. Look at his outfit. His gray is reduced iron and his orange vest is oxidized iron. I swear, that's just the way he thinks.
So the trick with redox is you're just converting one form of a molecule into another form. There's no magic here, right? Wetland soils are wet. They don't have a lot of oxygen in them, and because of that, we can see evidence of anaerobic conditions. Oxidized iron is reduced, it's converted into blue-gray reduced iron. We can smell the evidence, right? Sulfate is turned into hydrogen sulfide, smells like rotten eggs. And finally, I mean, it's these services that happen only under anaerobic conditions that make the city interested in how can an urban wetland take nitrate and convert it into harmless nitrogen gas.
So I just pull this out. And what I love about this, I hope you guys can all see this, is this is not saturated. Top of the aspen hole, 10% organic matter, okay?
Structure necessary for that function to occur are these saturated conditions and the plants and the bacteria that are necessary to make that plant function. The service that it provides is it removes nitrates. That's the service that the city is interested in. So what the argument could be is when the wetlands were enhanced specifically to enhance that service, you may be losing other functions. So this part of this idea of wetland restoration that was a question that was asked earlier, is it really restoring a wetland or is it enhancing the system to provide a function? those words mean different things, and the approaches to achieve those things mean different things. We confirmed this as a wetland. Here's the edge.
You guys hear that? That is what I've been chasing. It's another 12 inches down. What am I grinding right now?
River rock, basically.
Gravels, cobbles, and I bet you they're all rounded. I estimated 115 centimeters down, right? That's one arm's length. Here, I'm gonna guess they're 5 feet down. Here in the land between the rivers, that's Bozeman Creek, that's East Gallatin. Those are the only way these gravels get here, right? Remember, the rivers out of the Gallatins are fire hosing mass. I bet you it's deeper here only because we are further from the river, right? From those source zones. What I have just spent some time bailing in order to get you some evidence that there is gravel underneath this mess. The key take-home message is that the diffusion of gases like oxygen and sewer gases is 10,000 times slower through water than it is through air.
So the story of Story Mill water is really a story of water across the American West. When agriculture really kicked into high gear out here in the West, we had to irrigate in order to supply crops with water. And so this Story Mill water, this Story Mill wetland, it all comes together here because you've got Bozeman Creek coming down one side, you've got East Gallatin on the other, and it turns out even Story Mill, the actual mill where wheat was ground into flour, was hydropowered, right? They ditched water from Rocky Creek, ran it up behind the mill, and that's what powered the mill. The important thing about Story Mill wetland is that we can dig holes here to learn a lot more about wetland soils specifically.